Welcome back to my channel, everyone. I hope you're all doing great. Today's video is about one of the most talked about updates in recent Canadian immigration news, and it's already making waves. The newly appointed Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, has made a strong statement saying that rejected asylum seekers should return home. This comment has sparked a huge debate across Canada and beyond. So, stay with me as we break down what he said, why he said it, and what this could mean for Canada's future immigration policies. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future updates. Alright, let's get started. First, who is Mark Carney? And why does this statement matter so much? Before stepping into politics, he was internationally recognized as the governor of both the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England. He's seen as a smart, globally respected leader. His entry into politics came with a promise of balancing compassion with accountability, especially on immigration. Now, in one of his first major interviews as Prime Minister, Carney stated clearly that asylum seekers whose applications have been rejected by the Immigration and Refugee Board of Canada should respect the decision and return to their home countries. He said, "Canada remains open to people who genuinely need protection, but the system must not be abused." This statement carries heavy weight. Canada has long been known as one of the most welcoming nations for refugees. Over the past decade, we've resettled hundreds of thousands of people from countries like Syria, Afghanistan, and Ukraine. But with a growing number of asylum seekers, especially through irregular crossings, the system has become heavily strained. Carney's message seems to be drawing a line between compassion and control. He's saying Canada will continue to help genuine refugees, but those who are not eligible must not remain in the country indefinitely. Many observers believe this signals that the new government may tighten enforcement on deportations and removals. In recent years, Canada has faced a massive backlog of asylum cases. The Immigration and Refugee Board, the Canada Border Services Agency, and Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada have all been struggling to keep up. According to recent data, tens of thousands of individuals in Canada have been ordered to leave, but have yet been deported for various legal or logistical reasons. Mark Carney's comment suggests his administration wants to address this directly. He said, and I quote, "Canada's generosity must be protected by fairness and responsibility. Those who come here seeking protection deserve to be heard, but once a decision is made, that decision must be respected." So, what does this mean in practical terms? It could mean the government will soon strengthen border enforcement and prioritize the removal of failed asylum seekers. We might see more cooperation with other countries to ensure safe returns. It could also involve stricter measures to prevent people from using the asylum system as a backdoor to stay in Canada. Of course, not everyone agrees. Human rights organizations are expressing concern, arguing that such statements could create fear among vulnerable communities. Groups like Amnesty International Canada and the Canadian Council for Refugees say that while Canada can enforce its laws, it must ensure no one is sent back to a country where they might face danger or persecution. Another angle is how this might affect Canada's image. Our reputation as a humanitarian nation is a huge part of our global identity. When Canada opened its doors to Syrian refugees in 2015, it became a symbol of compassion. But the debate over irregular crossings has become more heated, with some Canadians feeling the system is being misused. Carney's statement seems to be an attempt to balance both sides of this argument. It's also important to consider the political timing. Canada's housing crisis, inflation, and public service pressures have made immigration a top political issue. By taking a firmer stance, Carney may be trying to reassure Canadians that his government is serious about managing the system responsibly. However, we must remember that rejected asylum seekers are still human beings. Many have complex stories. For them, the news of being forced to leave can be devastating. This is why advocacy groups are urging the government to apply compassion even in enforcement. There's also the question of how other countries will respond, especially the United States. Irregular migration across our shared border remains a challenge. Carney's remarks could signal stronger cooperation between Ottawa and Washington on border management. Now let's talk about the public reaction. Social media is buzzing. Some are applauding Carney for being realistic and responsible, saying his message shows leadership. Others are criticizing him, saying this is a step backward from Canada's humanitarian legacy. So, where does this leave asylum seekers currently in Canada? If your claim is still in process, this doesn't mean immediate change. The system still operates through due process, but if your claim has been rejected and you've exhausted all legal options, the government might soon enforce departure orders more actively. Experts predict the Carney government could introduce new immigration measures in the coming months. This might include faster decision timelines and more resources for enforcement. What's interesting is that Carney also emphasized that Canada's overall immigration goals remain strong. Skilled immigration, student programs, and family reunification will all remain active. The key message is that Canada wants to remain open, but in a controlled, rules-based way. This all fits into the bigger picture of Canadian immigration policy. In recent years, Canada's population growth reached record highs, which helped fill labor shortages, but also created challenges in housing and public services. Carney's comments may also be aimed at sending a message abroad to discourage people from making risky journeys or false asylum claims. As we move forward, the real tests will be in the implementation. Will the government focus only on enforcement, or will it also ensure humane treatment? These are the big questions being debated across the country, and every policy change affects real people. For many newcomers who have built lives here while waiting for a decision, this news is creating anxiety. Mark Carney's leadership style is known to be pragmatic and data-driven, so it's likely his administration will try to strike a balance. As this story develops, it's crucial to stay informed. We'll keep tracking updates from official government sources, and if new policies are announced, you'll hear about them here first. Before we wrap up, let's remember that immigration is not just about numbers or laws. It's about people. The challenge is to protect both the integrity of the system and the dignity of the individuals within it. So, what do you think about Prime Minister Mark Carney's statement? Do you agree that rejected asylum seekers should return home? Or do you think Canada should take a more flexible approach? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video informative, give it a thumbs up and share it. It really helps support the channel. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.